Kids club. It's like the kids table.
Yeah.
SGA is like the giant kids table.
We're the big kids.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean by the kids table? Yeah. I still say the kids table sometimes, depending on.
My family is so large that if you're under 30, you're at the kids table.
The kids table.
My family's
like
bad. They
anyone
have
under
like a
30.
couples table and then a singles table.
Oh, it's even
I
harder.
finally made it out of the singles
I know.
table, but
Man, that's awful.
You can tell what they value.
yeah. My cousin Kyler is like 28 and he's been at the singles table his whole life. It's great.
Ooh.
So boring.
It's so sad. You guys
He
should be a
like-
Lifetime movie.
He like legitimately doesn't want a girlfriend. Like he doesn't want
Well, I told you
companionship.
when
He
just
doesn't
got
want
the
love.
table.
I'm like, what?
Sounds like he needs sounds like there's something internally a little deeper there
He's so
that should be evaluated.
Yeah.
Please talk to somebody.
Would you?
Oh, and by the way, Cody Cliff texted me or emailed me, and he says he was like asked for 5 every single time, so he's gonna be the one like every single time.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, for this time, I guess. But he notified me at the beginning of the semester, and was like, just to let you know, I've asked for 5 times.
Would you do this as well? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm miserably guilty.
Oh, it's 4:30. It's 4:30, so let's get this meeting started. JT, would you lead us in the pledge? There's not a flag. Ooh, they forgot the flags.
I pull one up.
Can we pull one up really
Hold on.
quickly? I'm so sorry. While he's doing that, this is actually a good opportunity. I was going to have you all remain standing, but for those of you that don't know, I'm from Marshall County, and I attended Marshall County High School. I grew up there my whole life, and yesterday there was a really tragic event on campus, so if you would, I'm just going to take a moment of silence, so if you'd like to join me. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, it's been a while since we've had our last meeting, but the minutes were sent out to you and they were presented outside. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented? All those in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes pass. Now moving into old business. Is there any old business at this time? Seeing none, we will move into new business. We're going to start with Miss Claudia Burcham, who has a report for us, and you should have all gotten a handout on your way in.
Since there's not a whole lot of representatives here, should I just read the whole thing or just skip?
Sure, whatever you want.
Okay. So I am friends or know people across campus for various organizations, but a lot of these come through my sorority. So I focused on dining and wellness center for the most part. For dining, I'm assuming most of you have probably ate in Winslow this semester, and I have heard and I agree that the food quality and like the options are better. And one thing a lot of people like is that the vegetarian options available now. And also the all-day personal pizzas, the new infused water apparently is very popular. And then also a wish is for buffalo and barbecue sauce to come back to the sandwich line, as well as the panini grill for the sandwich and wrap line. And then also a lot of people are happy Heart Cafes is supposedly opening back up and would like to know when it is opening and what will be available. And then an idea someone had is similar to the new screens for the deli and wrap line is to put those also in front of the salt and pepper. So you don't have to walk all the way to the little tiny signs to figure out, like, because they're two different things now. So you can just, oh, there's hamburgers at this line and chicken in that line. And then one big concern was the wellness center doesn't really have a huge variety of wellness classes anymore. They basically have 3 different classes: yoga, pound, and Zumba. And for some of the people, they're with the classes like they used to have, like HIIT and butts and guts and body sculpt, which I understand that's an employment issue. But those were classes that were typically pretty populated. But an idea was to take a survey of what students want. Not saying that yoga and Zumba aren't important, but some people want the more high intensity, quick workouts. And then also a concern that was voiced is the hours on weekends. They don't open till noon on Saturday and 3 p.m. on Sunday. And some people don't go to church and want to get an early Sunday workout in before all their meetings start that night, or Saturday morning before work. And then also a huge thing that probably affected a lot of people in New Franklin was for move-in was between Old Richmond and New Franklin. There's just a giant mud puddle that was, I believe, supposed to become a sidewalk. That never happened. And then also a lot of my sorority sisters are nursing majors and are very unhappy with parking services at the moment with the Regent's parking lot. Apparently, this is what they're saying, is there's lots of big trucks that cut off the flow of traffic for the nursing building. And also there's just been a lot of cars not parking correctly. So an idea they had is maybe those left 2 lanes be reserved for nursing students, or also maybe repave them because they're very narrow through there. And I would agree, even in less populated times, it's very hard to get through if there's just a big truck or something in the way. And then also there's a lot of electrical boxes open around campus that seem kind of unsafe. And then another thing is obviously parking. People want Springer's spot to become parking, which we all know is not going to happen. But an idea someone had is to possibly move the gates that's blocking off New Richmond just back a couple feet. That way you can get in and out of that parking lot so students from Clark can park there. That's really all I had. There's more information, but I don't want to bore you all with that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thanks, Claudia. Does anyone else have any issues they want to bring up at this time or anything like that? Yeah.
At late night, I've noticed the cheesesteaks are no longer there. It's very upsetting.
That is upsetting. Those are so good.
So that's my only concern. Maybe they're just holding them out. I don't know. I just haven't seen last updates.
Yeah.
I just have one quick thing. I've had a lot of people express to me within the past few months, and I've also had issues with this, is academic advising is not very efficient, at least several experiences that I've heard of. I have a lot of my friends who have expressed that their advisors don't help them, that they aren't able to get in touch with their advisors, they've been put in wrong classes. And that's a really big issue, I feel like, especially if I keep hearing it over and over, because academic advising affects a lot on campus, probably more than we realize. I know, for example, first generation college students rely a lot on academic advising to help them navigate what classes they're supposed to take, if they're going to graduate on time, how they can take classes to graduate on time, how many classes they need to take. So if that system isn't really working the way it's supposed to, I think that's probably something that we should address, even if it's just maybe we could figure out a way to help students get the most out of their academic advisors, or help them figure out the best way that they can talk to them or reach out to them, or what even the purpose of our advisors are. So I just want to say, if any of y'all had anybody say to you that they had problems with that, or if you know of anyone that's had problems with that, or if you've had problems with it, or just any thoughts on what you think the system should work towards, or what the goal of it is, if you just want to make those known or reach out to me or let me know, maybe we can talk about it next week, or in the future, figure out the best ways to address that problem. That'd be good.
I think that's a great comment, especially some of those bigger things like that are going to be things that I'm going to take directly to the president and sometimes to look into. So if you do have any ideas or suggestions, because they do it different at different universities. And so I think that's something to look into as well, is who advisors are and things like that. But I appreciate that concern. Is there any other types of campus issues, concerns, things like that? Okay, if not, we're going to go into our next item of new business, which, as you can see, is a resolution. It's a resolution to support the excused absence of students attending the March for Higher Education on February 6, 2018. And before I read this resolution and we vote on it, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit to my report and just talk about the rally in general. Every single year, the Board of Student Body Presidents puts on a rally for higher education. The Board of Student Body Presidents is essentially all the SGA presidents within public universities and including the KCTCS system from Kentucky. We serve on a board and we meet 8 times a year and come together. And this is one of the things that we organize and plan as a board, and then we bring it back to our Senate so that hopefully they'll get involved. But the rally is going to be on February 6th. So that's coming up pretty soon. That means we have one more SGA meeting before we actually will have the rally, which is on the following Tuesday. And I am asking all of you to come. Essentially, I'm requiring you to come unless you have a legitimate excuse. I understand that classes are that day. I fully understand. I'm the last person that wants to miss a class. But if there is a legitimate reason you cannot miss that day, send it in to Bailey and let us know, because I think part of why we're here is advocating for students. I went 2 years ago. I went 2016, and it has been one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had within college. We actually marched, and I spoke on the steps of the Capitol. I interviewed the head of the budget committee. I sat in with meetings with different representatives. I got to sit on the House floor that day because my representative was like, "Hey, want to come vote for me?" Yes, I do. So it was a really, really good day for me, really impactful, and it's something I'll always remember. And I think that if all of you go, you'll have that experience as well, because you're really being able to advocate for something. And I think that that's why we're here. A little more details is that, yes, we live quite far from Frankfort. We are 4 hours away, and there's a time difference. So that means that we will be leaving at 4:30 in the morning. But I'll bring you guys breakfast, snacks, and we're taking a charter bus. And if you've ever been on a charter bus, super fun bonding time, so it'll be great. And then we'll pay for everyone's lunch after the rally is over. What that's going to consist of is that we are going to arrive around 10 o'clock, and the actual rally will start at 10:30. Sammy from Northern Kentucky is the chair of our board. He'll give an introduction. We're going to have 2 student speakers speak on the steps of the Capitol. And the board has decided to go through a process of selecting those 2 individuals. And I would like for you all, if you are interested in speaking, I need you to send me an outline of your speech by the end of tomorrow. Please do this. It's an incredible opportunity. I did it. It was amazing. You know, that whole heartbeat thing where you get nervous, like that was it. And it was great. I believe in chasing that feeling. So please send me an outline by the end of tomorrow. And then the board will select the final 2 that are actually going to speak on the day of. Last year, there were a whole lot of speakers and people felt like it was too long. So we're going to be a little more efficient this year. We'll have Sammy speak. We'll have 2 student speakers that we select ahead of time based off of their outlines. And then we're actually going to have individual meetings with representatives. So sitting in with a representative, speaking to them about your student issues, why we should have more higher ed funding, and that. So we're going to have that afterwards. That'll probably be from like 11 to around noon or 1. We'll go to lunch. We'll come back around 5 or 5:30. It's going to be a good day. Yes.
What do the speeches need to be about? Just like higher education in general?
It's going to be about higher ed in general, so why we need funding. For me, it was kind of, when I went a couple years ago, it was a lot of people telling their stories. Like, I'm a first generation student, and if it weren't for the funding that I received, like, would I be able to go to school here? The opportunities that we have, what does this budget cut mean? Like, look, right now we're looking at 6.2. So that's a pretty decent cut. And so when you start having those things, that means less opportunities for our institution. That means they're having to take it from other places. So what does that mean for our school? What does that mean for you as a person? What has college done for you? How grateful you are to have IRED. I know I'm incredibly grateful to be at this institution. So that's something that I think that people will talk about. It can be a very emotional experience, or it can just be something you're talking about in general, just however you choose to present that as well. Good question. Like I said, we are going to be taking a charter bus. I expect everyone to go. And next week, since it is the last meeting before we will actually go to the rally, we're going to have an educational session about what higher ed looks like right now, what this budget cut is going to do to us, so that we're really prepared when we go into those individual meetings with our representatives, because if we're not educated, we'll do more harm than good. So that's going to be the next process for us next week. Then we will leave next Tuesday, and you're all expected to be at the Career Center at 4:30 in the morning. Yay. Oh, goodness. And I promise you I'm the last person that is good with mornings, but I'm going to have coffee, and it's going to be fine. So essentially, back to this resolution, is that it's saying that we are supporting for faculty members to excuse students from classes on that day so that they can attend. So would anyone volunteer to read the resolution for me? Yes.
So what if, let's say this does pass, but teachers still, or professors don't approve of it?
Right. So since it's a resolution, this is not law. This is not saying you got to do this. This is saying this is what we support. So your professor may not support this. And we're here first and foremost to get an education, and I respect that decision. But this is saying that we support that decision. So that may happen. And if that does happen for you, that's going to be your legitimate excuse. Yes.
What's the ballpark return time?
5 or 5:30. So it's a 4-hour trip, but since the time change, it's kind of like 5 hours there and 3 hours back, if that makes sense. Anybody want to read this for me, please? Yes, Nick.
Okay. Resolution to support the excused absence of students attending the March for Higher Education on February 6, 2018. Purpose: for the Student Government Association of Murray State University to support faculty excusing the absence of students attending the student-led March for Higher Education. Whereas it is very important for our students to take part in the democratic process of voicing one's opinion to our government, and whereas this opportunity provides an experience that a classroom can't replace in civic engagement, and whereas the passage of proposed budget would impair Murray State University's ability to provide a quality, affordable education for our fellow students. Therefore, be it resolved that the Student Government Association of Murray State University supports the faculty excusing the absence of students attending the student-led March for Higher Education. Authored Tori Liz.
Do I have a motion for the adoption of Resolution 81-18-R1? Second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, we will move into a vote. All those in favor of Resolution 81-18-R1, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The resolution passes. Thank you all so much. Becca, report.
It's gonna have to be real quick.
Sorry, I forgot. She has to leave.
Okay, so RCA is in the works of getting like a lock-in type event. Dying Services is working with us. They have actually decided that they are going to open up Winslow after after Winslow closes. They're going to open it up until 1 a.m. They're going to open up drink fountains for us and give us like refreshments. They are going to have an Xbox and a PS4 set up in there, and we're going to have Minute to Win It games. And all of the different residential colleges are going to provide their own Minute to Win It game, and we're going to make it like a Spirit Points event for all the residential colleges. So whichever residential college is going to have like the most participation gets Spirit Points for their residential college. We don't have a date set for that. We're trying to work out the best date for all the residential colleges, but it's a new thing we're hoping to try out this semester, and we're hoping we can try to make it like an ongoing thing for every semester. We have a rebate night at Donsville, February 15th. There's going to be flyers coming out to all the residential colleges. Cash carts. It's kind of like a spin-off Cash Cab, but we're going to have grocery carts filled with prizes, and we're going to be going around to all of the different residence halls, and we're going to be asking like trivia questions, giving out prizes to people that have the right answers. That's going to be February 10th. we're trying to encourage you guys to like get your residents come down to the lobbies and just watch movies, play games, try to get residents out of their rooms and just try to like hang out in the lobbies and get the community feel in the residence halls. And that's February 10th. And that's all I have for you guys. Does anyone have any questions or anything for me? Great. Thanks, guys. It's been fun. Gotta run.
Thank you. Our next branch report is with Craig Lamb.
Yeah, parking regulations are being enforced, so please park where you're supposed to park, don't park where you're not supposed to park. I don't want you guys to get tickets, because then you get billed and go through the whole process. So, park where you're supposed to park. Claudia, great points. With Regents and New Richmond, I'll definitely bring that up to parking services. I know that repaving by the nursing building is definitely not going to be in the future, but we can probably see if we can double down with enforcement. Or just, get some more regulation over in that area. So I'll check the parking services on that. My board is full, but I have 3 alternate positions available. I just graduated off all of the females that were left on my board. So it is an all-male board. I would like to get a couple of females because pending, and hopefully not, but pending that I have to hear a sexual assault case this semester, you can imagine that you feel more comfortable being in front of a board of both males and females as opposed to just a uniform board of males, especially if the victim happens to be female. So if you know anybody that might be interested in judicial board, it's fun, it's easy, really didn't take a lot of your time, it's a good learning experience. Please have them contact me. I can get you my email afterwards or get it sent out. And then other than that, I have nothing else. So hope you all have a good first feedback. Questions?
I don't know if it's encouraged on the curfew or if you're just taking it to parking spots.
Yes.
Okay. If there are like 3 or 4 different cars who still haven't moved since like the snow, are they getting ticketed?
Yeah, so you get ticketed every 24 hours. I don't know exactly what you're speaking of, but I would say that so they didn't ticket last week, they waited until classes start.
Okay.
So as soon as classes began, so this Monday, they should have started receiving 1 ticket every 24 hours.
Okay, because I haven't seen any tickets on these new vehicles, because I started to go
Where are they at?
daily. Between Hart and New Springer, and then I know there's one between Hart next to the residence director spot.
Okay, I'll mention that to Francie, but they should be ticketing in full
The
force.
ice is gone now. It's still parked.
Right.
Okay, that was my concern. Thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely. Any more questions, comments, concerns? Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks. We'll now move into officer reports. Rachel?
I have no report other than I hope that everyone had a great winter break, and I'm really excited about this upcoming semester. Any questions, just email me.
Thank you. Bailey?
Okay, office hours is gonna start next week. So, and also there was a couple of questions last semester. A week is Monday to Friday, even though we have our meetings every Wednesday. It's not a Wednesday to Wednesday week. It's Monday to Friday. And then the email to send excuses is sga.secretary.msu@gmail. It's not murraystate.edu. So. And that's on everybody's minutes, and it's where you get your minutes from. So you can always reply to the minutes as well. That's all.
Thank you, Madison.
On Campus Activities Board, I have a homecoming chair open, and then I have a diversity position open. So please, if you're interested, or if you know anyone who's interested, please send them my way. I've talked with funds, just trying to get our money situation figured out to see what kind of programming we can do. That's kind of been my immediate job right now, is just kind of understanding what we can and can't do within reason. So that's what I've been up to just in my own kind of work. But we do have street signs coming up on February 8th. I will get you the exact time for that, but I imagine it would be kind of our same reoccurring 10 a.m. February 7th, excuse me. I have the 8th written down.
She changed it.
Oh, sorry. The 7th. But anyway, it'll probably be around 10 a.m. to, I would imagine, 1 or 2 o'clock, or whenever they run out of street signs. And again, I'll get you that exact time later. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Yay, my report. First and foremost, it's really good to see you guys. It's good to be back, and we bared through the snow, so that's been a fun experience. I do have quite a few things. I put most of it in an email to try to knock things off, but I do still need people for a few different things. One of them is going to be the Shared Governance Enrollment Summit. It's essentially about discussing graduate and undergraduate enrollment, where we are in terms of numbers and things like that. So this is a good opportunity. It's Monday, January 29th at 2:30 in Alexander Hall. I just need one more person to go representing student government. So can anyone go? This is Monday, January 29th at 2:30. Anybody? It'll be a good experience. Please. 2:30. Come on. Connor can go. Yeah.
I can go.
Yay. Yes. Next thing is that we have a lot of different committees that we are now needing people for. So I explained all of them in the email, but they are the Dining Services RFP team, Housing Design RFP team, and Facilities Custodial and Grounds RFP team. So I already have someone for housing. Is that right? Which one were you dining? So are you a resident or a non-resident? Okay, so I need one person that lives off campus for our dining services team. And this is a long time commitment, so if I can kind of explain that a little bit better, it's in working with proposals, and so it is a big time commitment, but it's a really great opportunity. This is probably one of our more fun committees. So if you're already serving on a committee, this probably isn't the best option for you, but yeah. Anybody? Okay, if you're a resident, I guess. I mean, she wanted a non-resident, but is anyone willing to do this at all?
What does RFP stand for?
Oh, request for proposals. So great question. Kind of like how we went through recently with health services, how they were sending out RFPs, requests for proposals for other people to come in. That's kind of what we're looking at here with the dining. So they're going to be evaluating, I think, dining services as a whole, and then opportunities for other people to come in.
This summer, was this one of them that did it have to be in the summer?
I
can do it
into summer. It's into summer.
Probably be good if you were around.
Okay, because I'll be abroad all summer. So.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yay! You won't regret it. Okay. And then I need someone for the housing design, preferably someone that lives on campus. And it says it's going to start a month or more later than dining, which is going to start mid-February. So we're looking like mid-March or April. It'll go into the summer as well. So this is for housing design.
Yeah, this is a look at developing a master plan and making determinations on what we do with future renovation, future construction, what kind of design, what housing should look like. It's very important.
I won't be here this summer, but I'd be interested. So I don't know if being here during the summer is a requirement.
I think so, because I feel like it'll probably.
Yeah, I think that would be preferable. Obviously, if you can't find someone, better have some input than none. But I think it's likely to go into the summer.
I see on your notes here for the summer tour that it says, or those that are willing to call in for the meeting. So it's probably an option you could
You
call
can
in.
do that. That's a good point. Yeah. The interest is the main thing. If you're interested, I think, and you're willing to call in, I think that would work for you.
I'll have you down, but I'll send you some more details. And then facilities, custodial, and grounds. Same timeline, kind of same commitment. You can call in during the summer if you're really interested in the grounds of our campus. I think these are all great. Like, I would do all of these. Come on.
Yeah, grounds, upkeep of the buildings, the residence halls or academic buildings.
Can you give us more detail about the time commitment?
I wish I could. Unfortunately, this is all the information that I've been given. Do you know how often they'll meet?
Yeah, I don't, if you will attend, I mean, basically what you'll do is you'll first meet to determine what the criteria should be in terms of what you're looking at, in terms of someone coming on campus, what you want, what are we looking for? And then we'll help develop what the RFP is that goes out. And then when these come back in, you would sit down and look at the various proposals and determine which ones you'd like to explore further and maybe have on campus to provide a presentation. And then part of it will be also, if we invite people in, to determine which one you'd want to take over the service. So it's a pretty comprehensive process. So it's not like you're going to meet multiple times a week, but you're going to meet probably, once it gets started, it'll be, you could almost have weekly meetings at some point, particularly once they start bringing proposals in.
But I mean, essentially, you're a part of hiring a company. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity for a student, period. So
I'm interested, but I don't want to say I can do it and then it be against my schedule.
right. I think once they form the committee, they'll actually make the meetings based around people's schedules. So I would assume they're not going to schedule it during class, if that makes sense.
I'd do it, but I'm already on Tuesday. I don't want to.
Are you on, like, which committee are you on?
Services.
Oh, so that's a pretty hefty committee.
I'll serve as the non-resident. Okay.
Okay, I only need one person, so
Yeah, that's fine.
thank you. I really appreciate it. I really hate being this person, but it really is a good opportunity. I think once you actually do it, you're really going to enjoy it. Next thing is I'm going to go ahead and let you know when the listening sessions for the revised strategic plan are. Coming up, we have one on January 31st at 3 p.m. in the Curtis Center, and then Tuesday, February 6th, which we won't be here in the Rocking Chair Lounge, but I encourage you to go to one of those. Also, the last thing that I want to talk about is, surprisingly, elections. Your term won't end until likely around the ends of April, but elections are upon us, and the applications for elections are due on February 26th at noon. So that's in a month. So if now is the time to just start thinking and processing if you want to run for something else, if you want to run for your position again, and if you are not going to run for the same position that you're in now, I want to encourage every single one of you to try to find someone that you think would best fit in that position and encourage them to apply. One of the biggest hardships of being on the executive board of student government is trying to fill in vacancies. We should be able to start headstrong and really get into it quick without trying to just fill in positions. I think it's a great opportunity. So if anything, I just want to encourage you to try to find someone hey, I think you'd be a great fit. Here's when the applications are due. I think you should apply. It's as simple as that. It goes a really long way. If you're interested in running for any of the executive positions, any of the chair positions or the branch positions, talk to one of us. I would love to talk to you about what I do every single day. I know they would as well. And the executive board positions come with scholarships, so that's a great opportunity. So I encourage you to ask us questions and consider maybe where you want to see yourself in the future with SGA. So now it's just kind of the time to start thinking about it. And once again, those applications are due on February 26th at noon, and then that afternoon will be a campaign meeting to go over rules. If you do decide to run for something, you cannot campaign in any way before that candidate's meeting. So that's something important to think about as well. Let's say you were going to run for my position. If you were to start campaigning even like vocally, you made a poster and put it up somewhere, that takes off voting, like points from you getting elected. So let's say you actually got 500 votes, but if you violated something and you were campaigning ahead of time, well then in the numbers it would count for less and you could lose because of that. So that's just something to think about as well. If you decide to do something, just don't campaign until the candidates meeting. And if you have any questions, feel free to talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about it. I love this organization. So I encourage you also to encourage someone else to apply. I'm going to quit talking now, and we're going to move into our director reports. Connor Moore.
Well, Corey said everything I was going to say. So,
yay.
Good job. She said it better than I would have. But yes, please do go out, encourage your friends. and those you think would be a great fit for SGA to run and apply. If you're not coming back to join us in the fall, please try and find your replacements so the new EC doesn't have to worry about vacancies. That's all I got.
Thank you. Caleb?
Yes, so we had the resolution earlier for the March for higher education that's coming up here pretty soon. I met with Tori today. I'm talking about kind of how that process is going to work and how we're going to have the rally and then go and have meetings with the state legislators. And so next week, we're trying to bring in Mr. Jordan Smith. Yeah, sorry, his last name escaped me. He's in charge of basically government relations for the university, and we want him to come and kind of talk to us about kind of what we can do with this day, good questions to ask, basically how to have productive meetings with our state legislators. So I encourage you to be here at the next meeting so you can get that bit of information. Even if you're not going, it'd still be good information for you to have.
And off of that, anyone is welcome to come. So please invite other people and spread the word and let people know. We're going to be putting a lot of stuff on social media. I'm sure she'll talk about that in a second. So share that stuff. I encourage you to maybe change your cover photo and things like that. I created all of the content for all of the SGAs on the board. And so I think it'd be great if you use it. So Brianna.
So, as she said, there's a lot of events coming up. A lot of things are going to be starting to get posted. So please share those. People won't know about it unless we tell them about it. So make sure you share them, like everything. Encourage people to go and like the page so that they know what's going on. Encourage them to come to the events. And if there's anything that you need posted or think that I should be posting, please let me know.
Thank you. Austin?
It's not SGA related, but tomorrow night is Greek night at the basketball game. And earlier today, IFC decided to make tomorrow like the student section, like a blue orange out with Marshall County. So I know some of you guys are in like Greek organizations, and so we're still trying to get the email out to everybody. So if you pass that along to your organization, even if you're not in a Greek organization, I still would encourage you to wear out a good orange tomorrow night.
Thank you. Aaron?
Did you want to mention about the deal setting this live stream stuff up or not?
Yeah.
If you're interested, Austin has a class, so if you would be interested in like setting all this stuff up, running the live streams during the meetings, come talk to me. I also attended an ITAC committee meeting over the break, which is like in charge of like technology and information technology across campus, and they kind of gave a report on some projects that all the different departments and colleges are working on. So if you're interested in that, just let me know.
Thank
That's all I have.
Do we have any committee reports? We will move into guests with President's Office.
Hello, it's good to have you back. We've missed you very much, so thanks for all of what you do. The president is away today, and he asked me to do a couple of things. I'm going to reiterate that Tori has said and Caleb, but regarding legislative efforts, you may be aware that the governor presented his executive budget a week ago Tuesday. Anybody aware of that? If you're not, you need to be paying attention. Because as Tori said, there was a suggested 6.25% cut to all of state agencies. So that doesn't mean just higher education, it means all of them, okay? The president, Jordan Smith, our director of government relations, are meeting with the leadership. And you may know all of this already, but I'm going to go over it. The House is the one who starts with the budget bill. And after the House, it goes to the Senate. And then there's a conference committee that convenes. And usually that goes right up until the last part of the session. The last part of the session is April the 13th. So you will be hearing updates as we go along. Just because the governor has recommended a 6.25% cut across the board doesn't mean that's what the legislatures will do. So there are many programs as well. If you'll go on to the governor's site, 70 programs have been recommended for removal at the state level. So you need to look at those because they may affect you. But being an SGA means you have a responsibility. You are representing different units and different groups. So this is a very important time to take that responsibility. Also, any questions on that first about the governor's?
Do you know what the cut ended up being in 16? 5% that was cut? That was.
It was 4.5% recurring. Yeah, so it started at 9, and it was 4.5% recurring. Right, Donna, got on that.
And would this be adding on or replacing?
So where we started, it would take more off.
Okay.
So over the last, you may have to help me here, over the last 10 years, 2007, I think I got this right, there's been a decrease in our state appropriations. Now, make sure you understand, the 6.25% cut is on state appropriations. So the university gets money from the state, and we also get tuition and fees, right, and other funds, source of funds. So that's not all of our money. Everybody understands that, right? Okay, but I want to make clear that every state entity, it's not just Murray State, but it does affect you. It affects us, it affects faculty, staff, our communities, right? So we all just got to be very careful and very positive, right? It could be much better or much worse, but we have a great university and you are part of that. So I just wanted to make sure you understood where that's coming from. Any other questions over that component? But again, support Jordan Smith, our Director of Government Relations. He is working very hard. He's up there and has been. He's going to pretty much live up there for a while. He's up there until Thursday night. He drives crazy hours. The president's up there. Lots of people are up there working on our behalf. We have a lobbyist as well. The Enrollment Shared Governance Summit that Tori mentioned is on Monday, January 29th, but the room has changed. It's in 118 of Wells. So whoever was attending is going to move to 118 of Wells. Information Monday, and it's if Tori, I believe this is correct from Jill Hunt's email. There was a request to have certain people there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the room is small and then your representative is supposed to bring the information back. So not to be limiting, but yet we had to move the room for some purposes, so we didn't want to have that. So your representative will bring that information back. Last thing, strategic plan. I think Tori also mentioned that. We'll have a listening session for the strategic plan with some snacks outside in front of your meeting next week. Now, what does a listening session mean? There's strategic plan reassessment is on the website. Quick links, right? Everybody knows how to do that. Strategic initiative plans, there you go. Don't have to remember a URL or anything. But the reassessed strategic plan is up there. It's been shortened and I need your input. I need it, right? I'm asking faculty, staff, students, community. We're trying to make it where what we have is budget. We have with strategic plan and the mission of the university so we can do what you need to have done. Got it? So small snacks, and then we did do some strategic plan proposals today. Tori was involved in that, and thanks very much, Dr. Robertson. There are some funding opportunities, but we were very mindful of the budget, and we didn't fund everything. We actually funded about a third of what I thought we would. So, but those are enrollment initiatives. So you can help us the most by what you say and do when students and parents are on campus, right? You are our best advocates of what's going well and what's not. You've got to be honest about that, but we need your help, right? We wouldn't have so many difficulties probably to handle if we could also provide more educational opportunities for the students in our region and across the state. Other questions for me or the president, and I'll take them back to him. Again, my name is Renee Pfister. I forget to say that several times, but see me on campus, please stop me and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tori,
Yeah.
you mentioned about speeches. If you want to do a speech at the March.
Yes, I said it earlier.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thanks. Dr. Robertson.
Well, just quickly, let me also welcome each of you back. It's good to have you on campus. We miss you when you're away, and we gave you a bonus week.
Yeah.
So, but I guess my message to you is, going to add to what Dr. Pfister said, but we're here to help you. We're here to help you do your job. You've got an important job as you represent the students. So utilize us as resources. Let us help you as you're checking into things. Certainly come to us with questions. But we want to help you do the very best job you can. And then lastly, I do want to congratulate Jeannie. As you know, we've been trying to develop a Jeannie Morgan Student Government Scholarship, and it has now been fully endowed, so that scholarship is ready to be awarded, and that's a tribute to the legacy. Let us know how we can help.
Thank you, Dr. Would you like to say anything for dining?
Well, not a whole lot. Didn't really prepare anything, but I've got your notes that the comments that everybody's made, and we're trying to get out there and go to a lot of the more of the meetings, come in here. I'm at first, if you haven't met me, I am the tea room manager. That's where I started anyway. But I'm over pretty much all of the retail venues that are on this side of campus. So Business Express. I'm also the person that will be working on HART when we make a decision on what we're doing. We've postponed it a little bit, and it's really just trying to find what you actually want, what the students want. Is it a Starbucks? Is it more to the Starbucks? You know, so we just want to do it right, so that we're putting it off just a little bit longer. So that's not maybe what everybody wanted to hear, but we just want to make it right. So it's going to be a little bit longer on that. Some new things that we're doing at Winslow, y'all already talked about the Xboxes and such that we're doing over there. So we're gonna have like a quiet area, and then the other ones soft seating, like couches and chairs that are comfy, and then everybody can play their Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff like that. And they've got all the details over there. Some mainly over here, so I don't want to step on anybody's stuff there. The infused water was a huge deal. We do have it in the tea room, because that was one of the comments. So maybe we'll change it up a little bit to get what y'all like over there and have the same thing over here. Something huge that we're doing downstairs in Market 22. Not sure if y'all been. We have Sushi with Gusto, which is a contracted company we have come in that makes sushi. What we did is, like what she was talking about with the RFPs, it's a really good experience to go on something like that. Not sure what y'all are wanting to do when you go up and have real jobs and do all that, but this is a huge experience. You won't get that anywhere. So if you haven't signed up, it is something good to do. And not just that, what you say matters. You know, you're in here and your vote counts, and it really does matter to me in dining and my job, but that's why we're here. And so make your voices heard on that. But back to what I was saying. Downstairs we have Market 22 and we have Sushi with Gusto. So we tried different kinds of sushis from different companies, and that was the best one that we had. So we have them downstairs that can make it to order. We also have fresh grab and go. But just to give people another option that are on the meal plan, any that are limited to all meal plans that we have, you can use your swipe Monday through Thursday to do the burrito bar. So we move the burrito bar from the tea room out into Market 22. So you can also do flex, cash, we take anything else like we normally do, but just to kind of give people another option. Plus, if you're in here, like at this meeting right now, you can go downstairs and grab a burrito and use your meal swipe. And then if you have friends with Flex or whatever, you can use that too. But we've put out comment cards in all the venues, so we want to hear what you have to say and we want to make changes. We have been doing that. We heard what everybody said last semester, so we're trying to get all that implemented pretty fast. So I'll take back everything that y'all said and let Winslow know. But thanks for the support. We like hearing the good news about Winslow and things that y'all like so far this semester. So their work paid off, so I'll let them know. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
When you say you're postponing opening HART, do you mean until later in the semester or at least until next fall?
We're still working on it, so I can't, if I have more information, trust me, I'll give it to y'all first. But that's pretty much where we're at. We're just trying to figure out what's best, what's going to be great for the students, not put something in there that it's not really what y'all want or what you need. So we just want to make sure we get everything taken care of in that moment.
I know a lot of organizations have been asking me, like, is it going to open soon? Because they need to put up flyers for a meeting place. And a lot of organizations were relying on that meeting.
On the meeting spaces, I know we just had a meeting, and I mean, I know that there's just not rooms for stuff. So if you need spaces for meetings, let us know, because we do have other venues and other places, and we can see if we can work with y'all on any of that. So I'm Kelly Buckingham, so it's kbuckingham@murraystate.edu, and I don't mind passing that on. Or you can always call the 4600 number and ask for any of the managers in any of the areas. But I mean, we have meetings and we talk frequently, so we're here for y'all. So if you need a space to meet, I know we have the tea room, so maybe that's an option. It's just something to talk about.
Thank you. Christian Barnes.
Yes, and I just want to echo what everybody else has said. Welcome back. Thankfully, we've gotten off to a good start after all that snow. I did want to share a few things that are going to be going live here in the next day or so. SGA always sponsors 3 awards that are given out at the end of the year. The Jim Bauer, the Max Carmen, and the Ralph H. Woods. Correct me, Jeannie, if I'm wrong, but Max Carmen is for faculty, and then the Jim Bauer is a staff award, and then the Ralph H. Woods is a student award. And so those applications, nominations for those, for 1 faculty, 1 staff, and 1 student will be going live here in the next day or so on the website. Those forms will also be emailed to all of our student organizations across campus. And so we highly encourage, if you've noticed a great faculty that have helped you, any staff that has risen above what their duties, or a student that has excelled in their position, or a student that you've seen make a great difference on campus, be happy to nominate those individuals across campus. So look out for those. So they'll be online and be sent out to all of our organizations. So does anybody have any questions for me? Oh, yes. And then also online, we'll be having the SGA applications as well, both for all positions available. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jeannie.
Awesome. I'm really glad to have everybody back. I've had the pleasure of being in Atlanta for a few days, and the weather was wonderful, 61. So welcome back to Murray, Kentucky. But I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, we're down in the office. Please drop by. I know you have to do your hours, but sometimes you have questions or want to talk or have something to explain. Please see some of us down there. We'll help you any way we can. As Christian said, and Tori both, the applications are early for SGA elections. We have the elections 2 weeks after the 26th of February. And then we vote before spring break, because after you come back out of spring break, everybody's really, really busy. So pay attention to what Tori and the other officers are telling you about running for an office and getting someone to replace that. I just want to tell you, I don't think you realize how important being in student government is. It's an opportunity that you get very seldom in life. And it's opportunities that will see you through life. So please take advantage of this. I had the pleasure of being in Atlanta with the former SGA president. She got her master's in Oxford, but she got her start in SGA. So there's so many opportunities that are given to you through SGA. So please make sure that you take those opportunities and you share them with other people. Now I'm off my soapbox.
Thank you. Are there any announcements? We do have some different vacancies open. Encourage other people to apply. Have them come to the office, fill out an application. Don't forget about the March for Higher Ed. Put that in your calendars. Let your professors know now. Take a copy of the resolution if you want to, hey, here's what we think. And then also the speech outline is due to me by the end of tomorrow. I encourage you to do that. I think it'll be a great opportunity. You're going to be there anyway, so you might as well give a speech, right? That's all the announcements I have. Any other announcements? Kudos. And I appreciate everyone just sitting through this long meeting. No kudos? Did anybody put one in here? Okay. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Yeah, 1 second.
The girls play tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and I know that's really early, but if you can't go support our women's basketball team.
Go Racers. Wear orange and blue. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? We're adjourned.
Thanks, Tori. I'll send you an outline. be a chair this week. I'll send you a note after the
Yay!
I have some things I don't really
Thank you. Oh, you're fine. Hi.
So first, I am interested in doing the speech.
Okay.
Possibly.
See me an outline.
And then also diversity and inclusion. How's that looking?
I'm so sorry. I wish that I had someone in that. If you want to head up a meeting,
I might.
That would be beautiful. I would do it myself, but
I'm kind of interested in the J board just because like I think there should be like a male voice on there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you do the J board though, I'll let you know that it's in our bylaws that you can't be in two branches at once in
So I
SGA.
can't be in SGA.
So that means you couldn't be in SGA, like Senate.
and same thing with the diversity.
No, diversity, well, you can't be a senator and a chair at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Application downstairs.
If it were up to me, I would let you.
And I feel bad like taking a position and then being like, okay, I'm gone again. Like, good luck next semester. But at the same time, if no one is going to do it, then okay, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, send me that speech. Just make it like a general outline, because that's how the board is going to base.
Well outlined.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, I mean that's going to make it more likely for you to get it, I guess. So, okay, thank you.
Kristen last week you graduated.
Yes, correct.
I wanted to let you know that Clark is looking for a senator, and we have, I think, voting either this coming week or the week after.
Two questions. One, can I get more info on like the RFPs? Like, is there any additional information you have? Not really.
I have nothing, honestly. Just that they are heading up the committee, which means they haven't made RFPs, anything like that. Like they're just making the committee to make the RFPs.
Okay. What was still available? Was there?
I think I filled them all.
Did you fill them all? I thought there was one cylinder.
No, I filled them all.
Okay, cool. And then,
Thank you.
Always. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you.
and then my next question was about like the outline. Was there? Is there anything like in specific that like?
Nothing
talk about?
specific. Just whatever you want to talk about. Kind of what I said. But I mean, the more in depth of an outline you give, probably the better chance of being selected. But the entire board decides. So
Okay.
by tomorrow night, end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I was wondering, first of all, as far as like the topic I brought up, what do you feel like do I need to do? I feel like no one's gonna consult me. Like I hate to be pessimistic, but so,
I feel you.
Yeah, but it is an issue. I feel like I don't really know what you.
If you could actually just maybe the information you have, like key points of what other students have said, and get that to me, I'll present it to the president. And maybe even look into what other universities do, because I've had this discussion before, because other universities have like, that is their job to be an advisor. And I mean, I'm with you. Like, I don't go in there and say, hey, advisor, pick up my classes. No, I go in, I say, this is what I'm taking, take off my whole.
I've never actually met with my advisor. I've been here 4 semesters and I've never actually met with them.
See, that's an issue too.
Yeah, because I mean, in theory you're supposed to, but I never actually have.
But what happens? They just say, I'll take off your hold, or
What's
what?
your major, by the way? So that to have
Political science and pre-law.
Okay, because I think that might be, it just might be something, because like, I know the engineering department, they're very good about, if you quite literally have to meet with yours, or they won't take off.
Well, that's what it. No, that's what it's supposed to be.
Well, the first
So what happened?
I mean, there's been a series of issues like. And then one semester I got my schedule approved by my advisor. I didn't ever meet with him, but I got him approved, and it was the wrong classes. And the department chair just happened to see it, and he was like, "You're all the wrong classes." So, yeah, and I've had people in other departments complain about it too, so I just thought I'd throw it out there. Also, have y'all made any more advancements in the diversity and inclusion chair?
I will email you about it if you because
we ended up having the break, obviously, and it was just like bad timing.
But like, no matter whoever it is, I just thought it might be good to have one before elections. So
Right.
Like.
Right.
It's more inclusive elections.
I know. I'm totally.
And then I have one other question. Oh, the speech. How long do you think it should be? Like
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
So just like an outline. So something that would generally feel like 10 minutes. More in depth of an outline, the better.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
I think you know what I'm here for.
I do. Thanks again.
Except for the fact that we had a 2-hour meeting because they decided. Okay, I'm sorry. I was about to strangle one of my members because he was literally. So they voted. Here's the new budget that or the new proposed. What they're hoping to get for this next year because they just finished up they're about to finish up the last year, and so they were in the hole about 40. They're hoping to only be in the hole about 40,000, about 60 right now. They're hoping by the end they'll be only about 40. That's their proposed, and basically they were fighting over the director's salary, which is Gerald, the guy that probably messages you every time. But they were arguing over his salary, and we went 2 hours about that, and I was like, and we couldn't leave because else we didn't have quorum. So.
Well, what was the issue with his salary? What were they arguing about?
So because they didn't make it to what they were supposed to. His salary was 50,000 this last year, and they were at 200, and their goal was 200,000 that they made. They only made about 170,000, and they're only expecting to make about 180. So they said, that's almost a fourth of our, thing. They said, his whole thing is supposed to be the campaign, and so they basically fought because they dropped his salary down to 40,000 and put an incentive as if he makes it to such an amount, which is, they said 200,000, then he'll get 25 cents on every dollar that is raised. So basically he was just arguing because he said that there was a guy basically arguing saying that he should have only such an amount per dollar that we raise, but then we have the risk of losing Gerald as chair, full-time chair, and so they were basically arguing about that for an hour, and basically they were trying to figure out how they could get back on MSU's campus. I had a 2-hour meeting with Gerald November, but we didn't meet since then. So I had about a 2-hour meeting about I told him he could try to get it in with a Greek life organization because I know SIGEP does Best Buddies, which is a local organization. I said, you could try to get in with that. And then, just things like showing up to other events, stuff like that.
I'm listening. I'm just going to start packing.
You're okay. I you got a lot to
I
get
just
done.
have to pack up everything.
You can do it all by yourself?
Mhm.
If you need help, I can help you out.
All of this.
And then they basically just talked about, the campaign, how they fell behind. They have the new meeting schedule, tentatively. I can give you that one. So then you'll have that. I'll give you all this, but basically, and then they have a bunch of spreadsheets of how they fell behind and what they did, and then giving out a grant, basically, is what they basically talked about. And then, there's that. I'm going to say I am working on